Hello everyone. The amount of times that I've done this video is too many to count, but I'm just getting into this video so that it can help you. You know, for example, when you have a conversation with someone new, you may get caught up in the moment and you may not know what to say, so you just say anything. The things you want to focus on is someone's personality, their environment, and you want to focus on how much time they actually have with you. Because if they're in a rush, they're going to look for ways to end the conversation. And that's something that you need to make sure doesn't really happen. So that's why you need to focus on people that have more time to talk with you. And the first thing that I'm going to say when it comes to meeting new people, you can ask them where they're from. Because when you ask someone where they're from, you can learn about the languages that someone else may speak. Because for the most part, people only speak one language. And if someone speaks more than one language, it makes them stand out to you. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. So if someone speaks another language, the reason why you can't have conversations with more people is because you don't really understand what they're saying. When it comes to having a conversation with new people, you don't want to talk about yourself all the time. But if all people took from a conversation is that you like to talk about yourself so much that other people don't get a chance to talk, then people wouldn't want to have a conversation with you again. And that's why you need to ask other people questions so that they don't feel left out. The next point that I'm trying to say is, what places do people like to go to? Because for example, some people like to be indoors and some people like to be outdoors. And for the people that like to be indoors, you can ask them, how do they like to organize their place? Do they like to watch TV shows? Do they like to watch movies? And how do they like to spend their time inside? Some people may assume that just because someone has a messy room that they're not tidy, but then you need to think about it on the other side of things and look at it from someone else's perspective, that if they're busy and they don't really have the time to tidy up their room, that could be the reason why their room is messy, because they don't have the time to tidy it up. But also I do see the other side of it, where you just want to make sure your room's tidy so that you're organized in everything that you do. But yeah, let me move on to the next point. So for example, let's say someone likes to be outside a lot. Because you're meeting new people, they start to recommend places that you can actually go to. And you can see it for yourself if you like going to those places. And then you can ask them follow-up questions of places that they go to regularly. And you can ask them what places do they want to go back to. You can ask them what their favorite place is. And you can even ask them as well, just to like spice things up, what places wouldn't they want to go back to? And that gives you an opportunity to see that place for yourself. My third point is giving people a compliment, because when you give them a compliment, they are more likely to smile. But then when you give people a compliment based on their outfit, you figure out as well why people chose that outfit. Do they have outfits for like every single season? And sometimes people like their summer outfits more, because they're always like outside, they get to feel the summer breeze. Let's say people like their autumn outfit, they like their spring outfit or their winter outfit, because they're more likely to wear their jacket to keep warm. Some people like to wear like extra layers just to keep warm. When you ask people how they prepare their outfits, some people prepare their outfits the day before, some people at least prepare their outfits on the same day. I wanted to say that this video has got me overthinking every single detail. It's really hard to explain it, but it's better to really show you. And I have tried to show you on my channel of when I actually meet new people. So yeah, I feel like for me, when it comes to really meeting new people, it's really about teaching them something. Because for example, you may not have things in common with people. And that's really my next point. Because if you don't have things in common with people, you are less likely to keep the conversation going. You have to think of it this way, where everyone wants to learn something. And even if you don't have things in common with someone, you're more likely to ask questions, and you're more likely to teach people something as well. Because let's say, for example, that I'm good at cooking, but someone that I'm trying to get to know doesn't know how to cook at all, and they like to order food like all the time. It's especially important that if you don't have things in common with people, that you take the time to spend more time with them. Because I can guarantee you there is one thing that you at least have in common. Because for example, let's say I like to cook, but then someone that I know doesn't like to cook because of the amount of time it takes. All it really takes is just cooking an easy meal, something that takes like 5-10 minutes to cook. And you can find things in common, because let's say for example that you like certain types of food but then another person likes certain types of food, you can then go to like the same restaurant but then eat something different. And that's the thing, because when you're trying to like meet new people, you're not going to have things in common with every single person that you meet. If you don't talk to people just because you don't have things in common, you're just going to miss out on new experiences. And sometimes as well, I am guilty of this, that I just like to talk to people that I have things in common with. But it really comes down to like the effort that you put in, and you want to ask people questions. But if people don't like give you the time, they don't give you the energy back, that's the only time where you can just like simply move on. The last thing that I'm going to say, I may have briefly mentioned this near the beginning, but let's say for example that someone's like in a rush. They can't really give you their full attention because they're always in a rush and they always have a place to be. I'm going to say this, when it comes to meeting new people, this is the last thing that I'm going to say. You just need to prepare questions and you need to plan places of where you can go to. But it really comes down to like you as well. It comes down to the things that you like and what the other person likes. And you have to realize that all good things take a lot of effort. If something takes less effort, does it really mean anything to you? This is seriously the last thing that I'm going to say. When it comes to meeting new people, you have the opportunity to meet so many new people that if it doesn't work out with one person, you can then meet other people. And also you want to make sure that if they're busy and they are the ones that are in a rush, you want to give them your contact details and to make sure to give them space when necessary, because you're never going to really like see them every single day. And that's what you want. You want to have some space to actually miss them. If you're with them every single time, it's not really quality time because you're always like seeing them every single day. So that's really the last thing that I'm going to say. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.